to Weekend. Great to have your company. Stephen Mulhern is with me for the show. And coming up, actor Paul Nichols, who's about to take on the stage version of The Shawshank Redemption. Great film. But first, hey, they're the Monkees, and they're back 50 years after they first entered living rooms via their groundbreaking rock and roll sitcom. They released their aptly titled album, Good Times. It is a fabulous album. To tell us all about it, I'm so happy he's here. Welcome, Micky Dolenz. You're a star. Nice to see you. Yeah, you. Come and sit down. Nice to see you. You all right? Nice to see you. Yeah, good. First things first, I am a believer. Secondly, I've got to say congratulations on your golden anniversary.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird. Feels a bit strange. I did the math the other day, and the equivalent would be in 1966 when we came out, the Beatles and Stones, to have an act from 1916 on the top 20 record.
Wow.
Al Jolson or Enrico Caruso.
That's incredible. Listen, we've got a little clip just to remind us of how brilliant you were back then as well.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace. Put doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried.
I was so young!
I was about to say, how do you feel when you see old clips like that?
You know, it's like, I wonder who is that guy? I don't remember much about it firsthand. It was just so much going on. It was so intense.
It was an amazing period of your life. Yeah. People think that it was just fun and games, but it was a lot of hard work, wasn't it?
Oh boy, a lot of work.
We'll talk about that time a little bit later, but first, you know, to celebrate the 50th, there are a lot of things going on. You're currently on tour in the States.
Yep. And Australia and New Zealand.
Goodness.
The end of the year.
And album after album after album.
Well, this new one sure is, boy, I'm so proud of it. It came together very quickly, and as you know, it's just taken off. It's phenomenal.
It's the three of you on sparkling form, I'd say. Critics and listeners alike have said it's maybe the best ever.
No accounting for taste, is it?
Stop being much
I think it's certainly become one of my favorite. Yeah, you know, to have the quality of songwriters that contributed. Besides our original songwriters, we found those tracks from Carole King and Neil Diamond, original tracks, with one with Davy's vocal on it that had never been released or finished. Right. And then all of a sudden, these people start coming and asking to contribute.
It's
Noel Gallagher,
yeah, Noel Gallagher, Paul Weller,
Andy Partridge.
Was Noel Gallagher a Monkees fan then?
I guess so, because he sure wrote a killer song.
But there's also a Davy Jones track on there.
That's Neil Diamond had done that for him. Carole King had a tune that she wrote, and Peter sings it. Big Ben Gibbard from Death Cab for Cutie, and Rivers Cuomo from Weezer, and all these incredible writers. I wrote one, Adam Schlesinger, the producer, wrote one. And
I find myself just staring at you, because you're a big part of my childhood.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you were the One Direction of the day.
Yeah.
You know, you were everywhere, a TV show. It was just brilliant.
But also, it's interesting, because having read up a bit about you, you didn't see yourselves as a band, did you? You saw yourselves very much as a sort of a television cast.
It depends who you ask, but the reality of it, the genetics of it, is that the Monkees was a television show about an imaginary band that lived in this imaginary Malibu beach house, which was a set. And it does beg the question of how we could pay for it, since we never got any work.
We don't go into detail.
But it was cast like you would cast a musical. In fact, it's much more, the Monkees are much more akin to the Marx Brothers than the Beatles.
Right.
And it was John Lennon that made that first observation. It was a TV show about a band that wanted to be the Beatles. You know the show Glee?
Yeah.
It's a show about an imaginary glee club.
Of course.
But they can actually all do it.
Yeah.
They can all sing and dance and play. I think they go on the road.
This is what I love about your story, because you were studying to be an architect when you answered that ad to be in the Monkees. Well,
I didn't answer the ad. You see, I'd already had a series, so one doesn't go to the cattle call.
He was a child star. He was a
Circus boy.
Yeah, circus boy. 10 years old, you were, weren't you?
At 10 years old. That was my first professional gig. I'd done some screen tests before that, and I'm actually having some of my prenatal work coming out on ultrasound.
You were that good.
How would you sum up the times? What was it like? Because you were so massive. What was it like?
Well, you know, at that time, especially, you know, without all the social media stuff that we have today, it was pretty isolated. You're very isolated, really. You're like in the eye of a hurricane, and unless we went to a concert venue, or unless we went to someplace they were having an event, just driving down the street, nobody.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because especially in somewhere like LA,
Yeah.
because you know, the celebrities and famous people kind of furniture.
But you know, within the first year of the show, though, you've won the Emmy Award. 1967, you were the biggest band in the world, outselling the Beatles and Rolling Stones together, which is just absolutely phenomenal. What I love more than anything is when you first joined the Monkees as the drummer and lead vocalist, you couldn't play the drums.
No, I played guitar. My audition piece was Johnny Be Good.
But that's why you have that unique style, because you had to play it back to front almost.
I do play the drums left-handed and right-footed because I had a bad leg from a childhood, you know, kind of kid, and it got very sore and tired out easily. And the teacher said, you know, you're starting from scratch anyway, so just flop it around, which I did. And it does save me having to go in on an open mic night on a Monday in some dumpy club, and they say, hey, Monkee, come on up and play. Oh, gee, you know, I'd really like to, but, you know, it takes 20 minutes, turn the kid around. Yeah, but I could read music because I played classical guitar, so I wouldn't start it from scratch. And I'd been in other little rock and roll bands and stuff.
What I love about your story is it sounds like you had wonderful, wonderful parents. Your father, of course, famous actor, Count of Monte Cristo on TV.
Shot here at
Yes.
at ATV.
Yeah, that's right. But they also were very, very aware to keep you sort of protected because they wanted you to keep grounded, I suppose, feet on the ground and all that.
Yeah, we didn't live the Hollywood Beverly Hills lifestyle. I was born on a chicken ranch, and we grew up in the Valley, a place called the Valley, and we had horses, and I'd come home from shooting on Circus Boy and have to clean the pool. You know, my father was old school. He was Italian, right off the boat, so first generation.
Yeah.
My mom from Texas, you know, very grounded, and though they were both actors and singers, but yeah, they kept the thumb on it. You know, I couldn't get away with much.
And the story of even how your dad got into the business, is this true that he was a maitre d'?
Yep.
And he got discovered.
Yeah, he was a maitre d' at a very famous restaurant in Los Angeles on the Sunset Strip called the Trocadero, and he was trying to be an actor, and he was in the men's room, and Howard Hughes walks in, and I guess they're standing next to each other and says, hi, oh, you're the maitre d', yeah, all right, want to be an actor, huh, yeah, I want to be an actor, and signed him up. And so he made 2 or 3 movies for Howard Hughes, and then went on to be quite successful.
Yeah, you're telling me. But it's such an amazing story, I think. And I love the fact that you had that stardom. They made you go back to school. But even, you'd go on set to see your dad at work. Then if your friends asked you what your dad did, what did you used to say?
I used to say he mows the lawn because most of the time he was just home mowing the lawn. My dad mows the lawn.
It's a great job. And is it true, because I've got so much to talk to you about, unfortunately we're running out of time, but is it true that you could very well have been the Fonz in Happy
Well, I
Days?
was up for it, and I had a callback, and then I remember going back for the second callback, and it was just me and Henry Winkler.
Wow.
Henry, I don't remember him that well. I vaguely remember the callback. And I had on a little leather jacket and stuff, and Henry tells the story. We became good friends, and he tells the story. He walked in and saw me there, and he went, oh, crap, I'll never get this. Micky Dolenz is here. But he was the Fonz. He was perfect. He much better Fonz than I would have been.
And also, I just remember one other question I've got to ask you, sorry. Is it true that you hung out with John Lennon?
Yeah, I knew all of them. Paul was the first one to invite me to some recording sessions at Abbey Road Studios.
Wow.
And then John came to Los Angeles for the long weekend in the early 70s, and so yeah, I was hanging out with him and my old friend Harry Nilsson, and I'm told I had a great time.
I love that. Hey, listen, Mick, thanks so much for being here. Congratulations on all the albums as well. They're really, really great.
Yeah.
And good luck with the rest of the tour. Are you going to bring the tour here?
Not this year, but next year, absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant. do hang around. Now, we're of course going to be watching Go For It with our Stephen here on ITV this evening, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock,
7 o'clock,
ITV, yes.
But if, like me, you've been outside enjoying the sunny weather this week, don't get it very often, do we? You may have missed some TV gold. Here to tell us what we should be catching up with this weekend is TV critic Rihanna Dillon.